Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. In the previous session, we had quite a rejection here off the highs. 34.2175 was the high there. It kind of matched the highs here from the previous month there. And again, that was a big time rejection, and that began with headline risk from the presidential tweets, and that led to a significant outside day down by the end of the day. However, as we mentioned to our trading room here, this market really hasn't broken out of its range. It has a 5 or 6 day range that continues to develop here, and we're still inside that range, which means today could be a turnaround day here right back within the range, and we've already seen that happen and play out. But until we get either through these highs and with confidence, or 3,400 and close beyond 3,400 as we've been talking about with confidence, or until we break back below 3,300 here, or perhaps even earlier, but I mean there's still support there. Until we get out of that range, we're kind of in the range. We're still chopping around the monthly pivot range right here. So it's still kind of undecided right now, but we're building energy to a point where, again, we're either about to make the move to the previous high or the previous low, and it's still marinating right here. We have the FOMC statement later on this afternoon that could be a catalyst to get things going as well. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. You'll see here with the NQ, this one also has a very narrow range that has developed over the last 5-6 days. You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now 8 days developing. So if we go to a 7 or 8 days, let's go 8 days developing. That's 9. There's 8. You'll notice again how compressed this market has been. There's the 8 days we're measuring. There it is here, and it's 53.5% of normal range. It's been averaging about 825 points of range over that period of time, 8 days. So that means we could be looking at not only 825 points of range to come, but we may also see a move to the upper extension there, the 125% of ADR, which is about 1,000 points. So that's a pretty significant move. 1,000 points one way or another would take us, again, 11.4 up to 12.4, and that's right near your prior high. 1,000 points from the midpoint here takes you down to this previous key level here, which is the 10.4 level, and that's just from the center of where we are now, right? The breakout either again through 11.4 will open up perhaps 11.4 to a 12.6, right? The extension of 1,000 points. So right now we are building that energy, and we could be due for a move soon, but again, it doesn't appear as though the market has decided direction just yet, as it could still break through 11.6 very soon or fall through 11.2 and really trigger some selling pressure ahead. Okay, let's take a look now at crude oil. Now with crude oil, you'll notice that the previous 2 days had a huge move here, a high range, 2-day high range that hasn't been seen in quite a while. It actually has been seen, but it is seen for a very brief period in one direction and then a very brief period back. We measured this in the room yesterday, and we've seen that happen again this time. A big 2-day range down and then a back-to-back 2-day range up, and we're already back to around the $40 level. I mentioned during yesterday's pre-market video that we may become stuck around 40 for a while, because that's been the pivot. That has been the pivot. It's all the key levels. Yesterday's midpoint, I believe, is right around 40. It is 39.98, which is basically 40. And right now we're trading right at it again, 40.04, 40.06 here as we chop around inside day. So again, we may get stuck around 40. Perhaps it pushes up toward 41 or 41.5, but then it may come right back to 40. Maybe it drops down, but it comes back. That's been basically how price has reacted off of 40 for months now. The move or the excursion away from 40 hasn't been too far in either direction. It's been very small and modest. So again, we may push higher to 42s but snap right back, etc. But right now, again, watch as price continues to chop around 40 and build value here. The near-term trend is still to the upside, however. So any failed new low today could still lead to a continuation toward 41 and 42. Let's take a look now at gold futures. Gold here has saw some selling pressure. It could not get above 1926s. It topped out 1927 and rejected very quickly. So it got 1 point above it and was not able to find acceptance, and instead selling pressure occurred. And again, the tweet risk here came into play. This thing drops curiously and closes below 5-day lows. Big time flush yesterday, but the key level that held is 1874.20. We got as low as 77.10 and bounced, but we're now retesting the bottom of the pivot range, which could be a selling opportunity for new lows. So again, we talked about the potential for lower highs to come into play. We've still seen lower highs, lower highs, lower highs since this strong top here. And this midpoint at 26 was going to be very important, because if we couldn't get through it, we were going to see a lower high play out. So right now for bears, if you're a gold bear here, you definitely want to see bears defend yesterday's midpoint and the bottom of the pivot range here, which is about 1895s and above there. That's a very important zone. So yesterday's mid is 1902s. The bottom of the pivot range there is about 1897. So basically that zone, 1900, if it can't get through that zone, this could be an opportunity for bears to defend and push it to a new pivot low, even if it's just by a little bit. But again, this is the key level here for bulls, and they failed right now. We'll see if they can get it back above that zone. If not, we may have another round of weakness coming. Again, 1874.20 is very important to this key level here, this key range. And if it gives out, we may be opening up to 1820.5. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.